Welcome to the Hayhurst Brothers Podcast with your host, Paul Risse.
That may have been our best one yet. Daniel doesn't like when we do that. He thinks it's stupid, but...
I like it. It's personality.
Yeah, it brings a little bit of synchronicity to the beginning of an event.
What it does is it actually syncs up the audio with the video, Paul.
In the old days, that was true. It's not necessary in today's world, which is why Daniel gets mad. So
I'm into it.
Okay.
They like it.
Today we are here with Zach and Katja Schwarzlose. Did I get it right?
There you go. Now try to spell it.
I like it.
How'd you spell it, Paul?
Right, I like it. We're actually super stoked because this beautiful couple just purchased a house plan from us, and it's in the perfect situation where they live in Bee Cave, which is outside our build range. Let me just ask, how did you find out about Hayhurst Brothers homes and the plans and all that good stuff?
Well, my brother-in-law, her brother, Eli, started working here, what was it, a year ago?
Oh,
maybe?
no.
December.
Yeah.
Oh, so way less than a year ago. He started showing us what he was doing, and pretty quickly we realized that you guys were doing something special up here. And obviously after meeting you and engaging with you further, we got to know you guys, and before long it was an easy decision that we wanted to build a Hayhurst home. So
Mine was yes to all that, but also we drove by Zach's house, the beautiful Atomic Ranch, and I told Zach, I was like, I got to get my hands on that house.
yeah.
I'm going to put my glasses now. Jake doesn't want to try them on. His eyes are going a little bit bad.
I can read that just fine, Paul.
Okay. So just curious, what made you decide to buy land and build instead of like buy an existing home?
A couple of reasons. For me, it was that when you build a home, you get what you want. You don't have to take something from somebody else and try to make it your own. You get to kind of get what you want on the first swing, right? Secondly, I feel like you're getting more bang for your buck when you're building your own house. You know, the value versus the cost is much higher.
We live
than
in
when
a
you're
market.
building, especially in Austin, because the market is pretty much peaked in Austin. So building a home is like your only option almost.
We live in an area where we're a little bit outside of Austin, but in Austin, where we were originally looking, you're going and you're getting a 1,200 square foot house that has to be completely redone for $600,000.
Right.
And you can go get a little piece of land and build your dream home for the same cost and check all your boxes, and it's just a way better deal. Also for like your mental health, you're not in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
You're speaking our language, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
What language is that, Jake?
Not being in the middle of the city, Paul.
Oh, okay.
You know?
That's good language.
Country living.
Country living. See?
Yeah, I just didn't know what kind of language you were talking about, but I agree with you.
That's the language.
Okay. Jake, I'm going to let you take over on questions here.
I don't have to wear glasses,
Oh,
Paul.
I was going to offer them.
But just, you know. Okay, so what's your vision for life in your future home? Work, office, kid, shop, hosting guests. What is the driving force there?
Zach and I love to host. We don't really have, we're kind of the middle place for both of our families, and so we want to be a place where everybody can come, friend, family, whoever. We also both work from home, and so we needed a space that he has an office, I have a place to work, and we want to just center it around community, family, and be able to like essentially have our whole life there. Do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, and also just start a family. That's kind of where we're at in our life.
yeah,
so,
that.
Yeah, that. Just that. But yeah, that was one of the biggest driving factors. We just saw it's like what house or where do we want to be when we decide that we want to start having kids, and this is where we chose, and the house we chose to do it in. So,
How many house plans outside of what we're doing did y'all look at? I know there's a multitude of sites, different plans, obviously, on the internet.
Zero. Yeah.
I did some browsing on Etsy.
I didn't browse anything.
I was like curious. This is before
Right.
this was maybe like September, October of last year.
Okay.
But what you get for those house plans versus what you get with you guys is like night and day. And honestly, like the quality, even what they show as the final picture, it's just the quality doesn't even compare.
Well, your plans are also very detailed too,
Yeah.
compared to other plans. I mean, there's a lot of detail, and they're also simple. Like somebody who may not read blueprints every day can most likely understand those plans. which is one of the major bonuses.
Yeah, it's great coming from someone like you because you're in the industry to a degree, right? You do more commercial stuff, but hearing that from someone that's in the industry that looks at house plans, that's really great to hear. Just the fact that they make sense, and they're legible, they're easy to read. Because that's the idea for us is doesn't matter where you're at in the United States, a builder, someone who knows house plans can build this plan. It's not just something that some kid in an office put together and put it on AutoCAD and then printed it out, and then the builder gets it like, this doesn't make any sense. These rafters won't span that, or that opening, doesn't work. These are all buildable. So to hear that from you is
and so taking the plans to like the engineer or whoever you talk to.
Right, and they're tried and true too, which is another cool aspect of it. But yes, going out and getting pricing, I've had absolutely no problem. The level of detail has been pretty high. So
you've sent them out to trades, and trades are
yeah, I would say I've got like 95% of my trades have come back already, and there's not been any major issues.
And you're building it yourself, which is you didn't take it to a builder. Cool. Y'all are doing it yourself, which is, I think, another level that is awesome. I mean, that's a big undertaking, but that's pretty cool to hear, because that's most people, I think, are it's a little daunting to do something like that.
I had a friend ask me, she was like, "Is your husband a builder?" And I was like, "He's in construction. Like, are you thinking?" And she was like, "Good luck." And I was like, "What do you mean? He's had no issue."
Well, we haven't started yet, so we'll see. Right. We'll see.
But like right off the bat, there hasn't been big hiccups because the plans, I think, are so detailed and so clear.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. What are like some of the biggest challenges y'all have had to work through, like in the decision? Because I know that, sometimes when couples are deciding, my wife and I, whenever we were talking about our house, like it could get pretty intense. Like, what are some of the things y'all had to work through?
We haven't gotten there yet.
The lot has been kind of tricky.
The lot has been tricky, but that's not so much a decision. I've just let her make all the decisions.
He's trying to fight me on a bathtub right now.
Okay.
Not bad. I mean, that's pretty easy.
I'm needing the bathtub.
Okay.
And he's not needing the bathtub.
So on the plans site, y'all were just going through whether to do, obviously you can go through and choose the different bathroom layouts. And so one of you is like...
So it's like the big shower or like the wet room or just the shower. And I'm needing the wet room with the bathtub and the big shower.
Yeah, she wants to make the toilet pretty much 2 feet wide to make room for the bathtub.
Anybody who's ever built their own house, and I built my own house by hand, and at the end my wife helped me because I ended up getting married to her at the end of building the house, and then I project managed the house I'm in. And there are tensions that arise. It's the most amount of money you're ever going to spend. It's for you, your nest, and it's for him, architecturally, it's like going to be his work. And so there's things that come up, but at the end I find is so rewarding. Like, you can't really do anything in life that when you look back on will have taught you as much. And that stretching really is what helps us grow in life. So I'm glad y'all are doing this.
Yeah, and I would just encourage you, things are going to feel big, but they're not. I mean, at the end of the day, things that you're like, oh my gosh, this is the biggest decision in the world, whether the wall's yellow or green. Yeah. But at the end of the day, when you're in the house, all of that goes away. So don't let those hard times or those decisions that just feel crazy and that you get into arguments about, don't let it be as big as you think it is. Because once the house is done, it's going to be so beautiful and you're going to love it. And the little things that you thought were large will not be. It all goes away. So it's not worth getting. It's not worth the tension. I mean,
I'll have to remember that.
What advice would you give someone who is buying their own piece of land? Now that y'all have considered a lot of different lots and stuff and looking how to put the house on it, like if you're going to give someone advice who says, hey, I want to do this myself, I want to go buy land, I want to buy a house plan, I want to GC this myself or find trades or actually build it myself, like what advice would you have?
I think the biggest thing that I have run into in doing my due diligence on this house as well as just the development side of my work is your due diligence on the land. You have to understand the property. You have to understand the setbacks, make sure you look into the survey, find the deed restrictions, understand that, have a full grasp on what you can actually do with that property, because that can be one of your most restricting factors when building a home. And what you don't want to do is build a home outside of those restrictions and then either get sued or you can't get past an inspection. But yeah, due diligence on the land for me is probably my main concern.
Yeah, that's wisdom for sure, because there's a lot of red tape and a lot of fine details that can be overlooked. And
Very
a lot
easily.
of times if a lot has been on the market for a long time, you're like, this is a beautiful lot. Why is it on the market this long? And you're like, sounds too good to be true, but I'm going to buy it. There's usually a reason for that.
Right. You could find out it's in the floodplain. You could find out maybe the soil's contaminated. You never know. I mean, we've seen it all. So just looking into as much information as you can get your hands on with the lot, maybe talking to your local planning and development authority, whoever that may be, county or city level, understanding, what's going on with that property and get the full picture before you decide to build on it.
Yeah, you and I had a conversation before this that I thought was interesting that is worth talking about, and that's that due diligence period is super important, because I know you've got your lot is beautiful, but it's on a corner, but there's not any intersecting roads.
Right.
So in the development, corner lots have different setbacks than just your standard lot.
Right.
And so understanding what that is prior to is a big deal.
Yeah, so in this case, the deed restrictions outline standard setbacks to be 30 foot from the front and 5 foot from the sides. But for corner lots, it's 10 foot all the way around, which is obviously ideal in this case. With this being a lot that functions as a corner lot, but not technically being a corner lot in the eyes of the local jurisdiction, I could run into some issues, right? So I'm currently engaging with attorneys and trying to figure out the language that I can have some confidence to make a decision on. Thus far, they have said, without giving me a formal letter, that they believe it can act as a corner lot based on the parameters. So
And
we'll
that's
see.
huge for you, especially because of the way, obviously being 10 foot, 20 foot from the road is a big variance.
Right. So if it is in fact a standard lot and the setbacks are 30, we could probably want to terminate the contract. But those are the things you have to find out.
Right.
I think something to add when you're past this point of doing the due diligence is taking time, like, who is your network? Do you have a friend who is a designer? Do you have somebody who can help you along the way with these steps like interior design that can be so daunting? But like, I posted a story of y'all's plans and I had a friend message me, OMG, let me know if you need any help. I sat down with her and she's essentially like putting my rooms together.
It's awesome.
Like,
Yeah. Your network
from
is your
the
net
ground
worth.
up. And so like getting help from the people around you, your friends, look at your friends' houses and just like make mental notes and honestly like a Canva presentation of what you want in your house, so that when it comes time to make the decision, you know what you want and it's not like 100 decisions at once.
It can be daunting, and the selections process is a lot.
Like for finish out. Yeah.
I would advise, or just, get the selections done as early and as quickly as possible, so
Yeah.
you know exactly what you're building. Because what you don't want is, to keep kicking the can and like, well, I'll pick my tile out later, or I'm going to change this, or I'm going to change that, which you have that ability, you're building your own home. But the more detailed of a roadmap you can have in the beginning, the smoother the process is going to be, the faster the process is going to be, and the easier it's going to be on y'all's relationship. Getting those details ironed out in the beginning and having all that roadmap figured out is going to be paramount, just for this to be a smooth process.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, and this is just a theory, maybe we change how we approach it. I've created a deco sheet, and we're going to make all of our selections that we can up front. And I'm probably going to put a Connex on the site and store some of the material on site so that
So you're not having to wait on it to
Because
ship.
things
Right,
like tiles
right.
become broken.
Right.
And so you want to order it
Smart.
way early,
Yeah.
or
Or you get half the boxes are broken because they dropped it off the thing.
Yeah.
I've had that. And then
Yeah.
the tile was on back order, so I couldn't finish the shower that I was
So
remodeling.
pro tip: order a Connex box and store all your stuff in it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just build it into the cost of the build.
How do you imagine your life changing once you're living in a new
Oh, I thought that was
in a new Hayhurst home? Yeah, like Here's an awkward question. It's obviously bait for someone wanting to buy our house plans. Let's move past that question.
He blushes.
Yeah,
Oh, why did you put that one on there?
He was like writing.
because
He
no,
felt
because I was
motivated.
trying to think of like ways to connect emotionally, like buying and building a house and buying land. It's a deeply emotional thing, and so I was trying to get some way to emote.
I can answer it.
Okay,
I have a hard time picking a place that I want to live. Staying somewhere long term is a little bit scary for me, right? But
right.
the fact that like we're making this house and it's what we chose and what we want from like literally the ground up, it makes it feel like a safer place to stay long term. And I'm not someone that like wants to put roots down, but
Right.
when it's your own home, you kind of want to put roots down and you see yourself staying there for a long time. So there is that like emotional level to it of like, okay, I can actually see myself being here. Whereas all the other houses, I was like 1 year and I'm out.
Right, yeah.
Nomadic.
I kind of am.
Yeah, we have been nomadic over
Yeah.
the past couple of years. I think we've moved like 5 times.
Which like 4 colleges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kristen and I were expecting to be in the house we're in now for 6 months. It's been
Yeah.
14 years.
There you go, Jake.
There you go.
I've moved 48 times, and I will say something though.
You've moved 48 times?
You've counted?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a lot.
I never counted until I was like 36, and then my sister found this notebook that my mom kept of all the addresses we lived at growing up, and there was 28 of them by the time that I'd left high school.
Oh, so were you
Yeah.
in the military? then?
Military brat.
Okay.
And so I've always like, it's in my blood. I get an itch if I'm more than a year somewhere. I'm just like, okay, time to go.
Yeah.
But I will say that once you have your own house, like if you get some chickens, if you grow a fruit tree, like I cannot tell you how much joy I have right now on the 3rd year of going to look at my persimmons and seeing 100 tiny persimmons growing right now.
Yeah.
And like actually seeing the fruit of your labor in the land, like the briars turning into grass, the landscaping slowly taking shape. Like it's really, it's a beautiful thing. So I would encourage y'all to get a garden, get some chickens, you know.
I'm sold. I saw their garden this morning and I was like, we are slacking.
Yeah, they
And
went
get
above
involved
and
in your
beyond.
community too. I think that's when you really, putting roots down. For us, like I said, we were planning to be there 6 months, and as we started meeting the people around, more people came, and you have a community of people. That's what life's about to me. And so as y'all do that, I think it'll be easier and easier to.
Yeah, we're excited.
Yeah, I can't agree more with that.
That
That's-
long term, like you could sell the house in 3 to 4 years, make a good profit, and move out here. You know.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
There
about.
you go.
That's what I'm saying.
Knew that was coming.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not. Yeah, we'll see in the next video how that plays out. You know. Any other questions, Jake? I kind of feel like that one's forced too.
Why did you put so many forced questions on here, Paul?
Because when I was writing them down, it felt right.
It was just
I'm gonna
flowing.
ask it, Paul.
Okay, go for it, Jake. What do you got?
Number 8. What does home mean to you as a couple, and how does this new build reflect that?
You want A, B, or C?
Take it away.
So
I'm kidding.
home for me represents community, like we just talked about. I feel like that's just what comes to mind. And like she said, this home in particular represents a place for us to put some roots down for a little while, start a family, get plugged into our local church, community, develop a little bit more of a life, somewhere. And so that's what home to me.
Have y'all
Yes.
met anyone in your surrounding neighborhood?
Crazy.
Yeah, we have.
We have a minute or
Yeah,
so.
We
Okay.
actually have.
Eli came down to Austin for my brother, the one that works here. He came to Austin for Easter. We were walking around Whole Foods and he saw this girl. She was cute. So
Uh-oh.
he went up to her and was like, you're really pretty. Like,
Right.
like, well, what's
Ow.
up? Yeah. Anyway, she was taken, sadly, but whatever. And little did we know, this couple had been watching them. Go 2
Day.
days later.
Yeah.
or
Have you been
next
watching
day.
Eli interact with the
Yes.
girl? Okay.
2 days later, I take my parents out to see this lot that we're going to build this house on. And while we're there, we get a text from our realtor saying that
The
the offer
offer,
was accepted. And then the neighbors from directly across from us come across the street and they were like, we saw you at Whole Foods yesterday
No
talking
way.
to that girl.
That is wild.
They were like, how did it go? And he goes, she was taken. But they had seen us and they connected us with other builders like
Yeah, I've been in contact with that neighbor in particular, and then we also met others that same day
They
that were
all
walking
just
around the
came
street.
out to us, and we
Yeah.
met all of them. And
That's a good neighborhood because sometimes that doesn't happen.
It was
Right.
very
and so when it
Bridgeport-esque.
does,
That's cool. I
It
love
was.
that.
We felt kind of the vibes we feel here. There, it was like everyone's outside.
felt-
Kids are playing.
Kind of like a divine intervention when we were there. The offer got accepted. We were standing on the property looking at it with our parents, and the neighbors were coming out. The dogs were running. The kids were playing. It was all good.
That's
So,
amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. Just y'all's story in here and what the home is to you is awesome because that's our drive is nuclear family homes, and so to hear young couple wanting to start a family in our homes in a community where there's other people like-minded, kids playing, that's the whole vision of what we're trying to create. So we're honored and thankful that you guys
We're so
decided
excited.
Yeah, we are.
to get one of our plans and build it. I can't wait to hear. Maybe we'll have to
You'll
do
have
a
to
couple
come
of
down.
these.
well, and
Oh, we're coming down.
the other thing this makes me happy is because I love Austin and Jake hates Austin.
I don't hate Austin, Paul.
I can't believe you're changing.
I there's not very many things I hate.
For what it's worth, I don't like Austin either. Dripping Springs is not Austin.
Yeah,
Luckily.
well, that area. Jake just doesn't. If it has like springs and healthy food and intelligent conversation with strangers, Jake's like, I'm out. I'm out.
I just
Jake has nothing to do with
we
it.
won't go into
Keep
it right
your
now.
springs and your walking trails, your friendly
And
dogs,
your health.
your health, your vibrant energy.
No, the people who like us will go do a day, walk
Yeah.
this trail,
Yeah.
have a nice adaptogen
Yeah,
smoothie,
right.
and they can do whatever.
Yeah, but now we get to represent our architecture in
Yeah,
Austin
I'm excited
area.
about that for sure.
Are you?
Yeah, of course
Okay.
I am.
Honestly, they are, especially the Atomic Ranch, the Lamores in general, they're very Austin and
Oh, yeah.
very Dripping Springs. Like
They
I
are.
think it's gonna look
We'll have to
amazing.
get y'all a sign.
Oh, 100%.
So we'll
Yeah.
do that for sure.
Post it out front there. But yeah, I mean, that's really exciting. I think we should do this maybe 2 more times. One in the middle of it to kind of hear,
See where our mental
I mean,
health
see
is.
where it's
I
going,
mean, for real.
This may be a different conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
and then one at the end.
Yeah.
And do a cool reveal or something because
I think that'd be really. Actually, this
love
could
to
be a
see
YouTube video.
You could do you could come down and do like progress of what is that, or I could do some of like the core and stuff. But
It's a wrap because Chris is holding up a hand that shows there's a limited amount of time on this storage
yeah.
card.
So thank y'all very much.
Thank you all.
was fun.
We're excited
Hey,
to do
seriously,
this.
we are looking forward to seeing y'all's progress. We're honored that you chose us to buy house plans from, and can't wait to see the architecture in Austin. Right, Jake?
That's right. Yeah.
Thank y'all.
Bye.